EB-5 investors often wait 3 to 5 years for USCIS to approve their visas and green card.
You have a client who applied for EB-5?
Yeah, so we have a case and we filed in DC for a delayed immigrant visa for an EB-5 investor. They had waited 33, almost 34 months, filed a complaint in DC, and the district courts in DC in particular are dismissing these cases, finding that there's no delay under the APA, just plausibly, just on a plausible, there's no plausible claim to delay because, in large part, because the government is following a rule, meaning, and their rule is we look at people who have visas available, and then we process the applications or petitions in line, first in, first out. And judges have bought that and said, well, if they're going to follow their rule, there's no plausible claim for a delay. And then they dismiss the cases. And there's 3 cases on appeal in the DC Circuit, which is the appellate court, where we're arguing that dismissal of the case, is not appropriate because to survive a motion to dismiss, the judge has to actually take the plaintiff's factual allegations as true and draw all inferences in their favor. And what they're doing is just the opposite. But what has happened with this case is we have publicly available information that, in fact, they're not following the rule. They said they were, and that's a big deal. And I hope it's a big deal. It should be. And so,
how do you know that they're not following the rule? You mentioned like a website. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so there was an amicus brief filed from an EB-5 organization, and they have the technology and software to go through and use receipts, right? For people get a receipt when they file an immigrant visa petition. And they have so much access to data. They pulled up 500 receipts, put them in USCIS's online, kind of check my case online. You can check your case, and it turns out that those petitions, which they knew were filed after my clients filed their petitions, were already adjudicated.
Now Jesse and David have to sue the government to get green card decisions for their investor clients. Can there be a better wait? $30,000 premium processing fees?
So if I file an EB-5 today as a visa petitioner, if I made a capital investment and I file a I-526 and I pay the $4,300, they're telling me that it's okay for me to wait for 5 more years. Okay, before I can perhaps even get a conditional immigrant visa, and then they're going to charge me a little bit more, and they want to triple that fee. Okay,
I would say that most EB-5 investors would be happy to pay all of those fees and would be even happy to pay a premium processing fee for EB-5. I would even venture to say they would be happy to pay a $20,000 premium processing fee.
But there's no
actually created, some sort of result.
But there's no I mean, what we're seeing too is like for premium processing, that's leading, in my view, that's leading to more kind of arbitrary denials in the EB-1A context and O-1s as well. So like, I just have a really big problem with this. Give us more, and we'll do a better job, like rhetoric, and that's all it is to me.